Hello and welcome back to The Drag Detective, where I have the most specialist of guests, someone that I have been hoping to have on this channel for so long. The stars have aligned, and it's the perfect week for it since we just had a Lollapalooza. The lip sync assassin, DeJa Skye, is here on the channel. DeJa, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I love you. I adore you. And you're right. It's been a long time coming, but I'm here. I'm queer. Get used to it.
Exactly. And we're going to be talking about some lip syncs today. If you didn't know, DeJa has a little Dejanalysis series on her YouTube where she's breaking down all the lip syncs on season 15. And we're going to be doing that with some of Drag Race past lip syncs, specifically double Shantays, which is going to be very interesting since, you know, some of them are deserved, some of them are not, and we will be breaking them all down.
Which ones aren't? You'll find out right now.
Yeah, stay tuned, bitch. And if you like this video, make sure to go follow DeJa Skye's YouTube because she'll be posting a part 2 where we'll be going over a whole second set of lip syncs.
It's going to be sickening. It's going to be amazing. And we're going to see if these Shantays needed to Shantay.
Exactly. I think you guys are going to like today's video sponsor, specifically because you get to see a lot of footage of my cats while I talk about it. Today's video sponsor is Pretty Litter. Currently, my roommate is gone in France for 2 weeks, so I have had sole cat duty. It was around the same time that Pretty Litter came to my door. I was initially very surprised by the look of it because usually litter is like brown, gross, gray color. But when they say pretty, they mean pretty because this looks like the white sand beaches of Florida or something. I don't even know, but I was like, oh my goodness. That was the first thing that caught my eye. But the thing that I honestly, for me, find really great about Pretty Litter is the color changes to help detect early signs of potential illnesses like urinary tract infections, kidney issues, and, you know, looking at my girl Sibby here, she's a little old, she's a little scrangly, she has some health issues, so getting those early signs that there's something wrong just by being able to look at the litter is genuinely really a peace of mind for me as someone with a very old, very dilapidated, but still adorable cat. With Pretty Litter, I definitely noticed there not being the smell anymore of like dirty litter. As a cat owner my entire life, Pretty Litter, I think, is the best litter I have personally tried. Obviously for the health of my cats, for the smell of my home, and for the peace of my mind. So if you want to try Pretty Litter for your special little feline friends, go to prettylitter.com/dragdetective and save 20% on your first order. So thank you so much, Pretty Litter, for sponsoring today's video. So only one of us has been on the show and lip synced for their lives.
Which one?
Spoiler alert, it's not me. Not me. I'll show the picture of me in drag right here.
Yeah.
Trust me, it was not me. Was not me. In the moment where you're standing there and it's like you're waiting for the song to start, do you already in your head have to kind of say, I've already won? Like, I'm putting this into existence? Or like, what's the vibe?
Well, I've lip synced twice on the show, and the vibe was completely 180 from each one. I think the first one I was so emotional with, I can't believe that this is happening. I'm in the bottom on the first episode, and I have to stay and fight. And then I think the second lip sync, it was more or less like, I'm still gonna fight, but it was more or less, I was proud of what I did and I was happy. So, and I knew that all three of us could easily have stayed. So it wasn't like I didn't know anyone that first episode, right? With Daya, I didn't really know her, but I was like, oh, I'm fighting. I think for like the second lip sync, I was just like, okay, I got this. But honestly, for me as a lip syncer, I'm not afraid to go against anyone. I knew that we were all gonna put up a fight, and it was literally RuPaul saying like, okay, well, you decide, I'm gonna let you stay. It was very that. I wasn't stressed out. I wasn't in my feelings or anything. It was more or less like, you three are strong, but sorry, two of you. I was shocked. I will say I was shocked that two of us went home. I will say that. I was like...
So were we, bitch. So were we.
Because hands down, I thought that it was going to be me and Georges. Because I thought that like the reception from the judging panel laughed a little bit more at Daya's. So I was like, it's gonna be me and Georges. That's why in the Untucked, I was like, I'm going against Georges. But when they said, I was like, oh my fucking God. Could you imagine if it was only me and Georges and they sent us both home?
That late into the sea? Oh, that would have been...
Oh my God, I would be so upset. But honestly, truly, like, that top 5 was sick. Honestly, the whole entire cast, but the top 5 deserved their spot. We would have loved to be there, but that top 5 was sickening.
If you're not listening to the rigged recap, we've been talking a lot about the lip syncs this season because we have so many lip sync assassins on season 15, like
Yes.
Anitra and Sasha Colby and Jax. And a lot of people have said, you know, Jax is bringing these amazing moments to these lip syncs on the season. But the last amazing moment of a lip sync that, like, truly, like, the world stopped was DeJa Skye in Fallen. I've had, like, 3 people say that on my show. So
Swear. Are you serious?
Yes.
What?
Yeah, we were like, this is like the best lip sync since DeJa Skye and Fallen.
Oh my God, thank you. It means a lot. I mean, there's still people that devalue the fact that I am an actual lip sync assassin by RuPaul. That's what's crazy to me is they're still like, well, she only lip synced twice. And I lip synced amazing to a ballad my first episode and got called a lip sync assassin. Who else can say they did that? I'm the only person in history on their first episode I got called a lip sync assassin. So put that, shove it, because I am the one. But also they're sickening. I mean, RC girl, Jasmine Kennedy, George, like there was plenty of lip sync assassins. But I'm so glad you said that because 15 has been turning it the fuck out. It is like half the cast are literal assassins. It's crazy.
So the very first lip sync we're going to be talking about is from season 6, one of the most iconic rivalries of all time, Darian Lake and Ben de la Creme, to Point of No Return. What did you think about this lip sync, Deja? Give me the whole, like, break it all down.
So first and foremost, season 6 is my all-time favorite season of Drag Race. It had one of the most iconic casts. It was the petty, it was the nice, it was the bearded, it was everything. It was iconic. And not even for the time, I just think in general, it was super iconic. But this lip sync, Ben de la Creme was one of my favorites. So I was like, oh my God, Ben, you have to stay. And she turned it out along with Darian. What I like most about this was they give very different vibes, but for some reason it kind of works. I could see them in like a duet, like maybe like a sister kind of moment, but it was sickening. For me, it has one of my most like favorite moments of any lip sync, which is when Darian grabs the dollars. I thought that was so iconic, and I hands down was like, oh my God, she's got this. But honestly, Dela held her own. It was sickening. I loved it. It was sickening. And that song I literally got like that day. Wait, I'm old. So season 6, that was 1904. I got it on record.
So you would say it was pretty evenly split?
Yeah, I think so. I think like the only thing that bugged me about Darian was her hair kept falling back. And then I think with Dela, I feel like she didn't need the reveal into a bodysuit. So I think that's where it kind of like was even for me because they both gave face, they both gave range in their emotion, and that's what I really look for. And they knew their lyrics, so double Shantae in my opinion.
Well, and you know, from my perspective, looking at it from like how do we make the best season of television that we can, Darian and Dela was one of the best rivalries we've had like ever because it didn't ever get super nasty. It was just two people who at the time just did not see eye to eye. They just did not get along, and they weren't afraid to show that in front of the cameras. And if I'm a producer, why would I ever get rid of them this early? I mean, this was like barely the midpoint of the season. Do I think maybe Darian did a little bit better? Yeah, but also, like you said, Dela held her own. Dela had 2 wins under her belt. She definitely was like someone that the competition needed to have at that point. So keeping them both just makes sense in my head, and to the producers, I'm sure as well, because they fucking did it.
Yeah, it really did make a lot of sense. And like what I love most about it is they are actually very similar and for some reason clash. It kind of didn't make any sense. It's not like they're opposites. They're literally very similar. But for some reason they clashed. I don't know what it was. But hey, I'm sure they like each other now. Wait, do you?
Let's check the Twitter DMs before we...
What's up, girl?
Up and next, we're going to talk about one of the plethora of Eureka double Shantays in Drag Race history.
She's the double Shantae queen. Oh my God.
Not only that, but she got sent home during another double Shantae with Cynthia and Farrah. So, like,
we're not going to talk
goes,
about that one, you guys. We are not. We're not going to go there. We're not going to go there.
Wherever Eureka goes, double Shantays follow. Specifically, this one is against Cameron Michaels to New Attitude by Patti LaBelle. This song, there's certain songs that you're just like, this one feels like it should be a double save. And New Attitude is one of those.
And it also feels like it should be on TV. And I'm so glad that it happened with two lip sync assassins. Like, for me, what was insane to me that Cameron could emote through an entire mask. That was insane to me. But I think for me, like, hands down, I think this is a spectacular double Shantae. I think it's one of the most, like, it makes perfect sense that it's a double Shantae, in my opinion. But I think what took it there where, like, they're both staying is when they both, like, did a split at the same time. I was like, oh, they're keeping them both. But they were sickening. Honestly, like, Eureka does Eureka very well. And Eureka is, like, a very, like, old school kind of saunter diva and does this and does a kick and then goes back to saunter, where in this specific lip sync, Cameron was very high energy. So it was a good, like, juxtaposition of both of them, but they both turned it. They turned it and they both had a new attitude because they both stayed and slayed the competition. Oh my God, am I a producer? I just did a tagline.
Please. No, I mean, and this is another one where, like, narratively, it just makes sense because Cameron had been, labeled the quiet queen, really was not getting much storyline, really wasn't getting a lot of time in the diary room, and suddenly she has this moment where she, like, comes alive on that stage. She tears it up, she plays a character, and it's suddenly like, oh, this is the Cameron that we've been waiting for, this is why she got cast, and this is why she deserves to be here. Yes, and then on the other side, you have Eureka, who, like, has been given a second chance. She's been doing really, really well. She's won a few challenges. And it really would just kind of feel like her story got ended prematurely if she wouldn't have kept going in the competition at this point.
Prematurely again.
Yes. So this one, I think, for sure makes a lot of sense. And I think it was deserved as well.
Absolutely. It really, in my opinion, this was my favorite lip sync from season 10, including the finale. Like, to me, this was just, I saw them both fighting and both winning. So, kudos to y'all, bitches.
So next we have another one of the most, like, iconic top three, probably in every single human on this entire planet who's ever watched Drag Race's list. Brooklyn Heights versus Evie Oddly to Sorry Not Sorry.
My God.
The world stopped.
It was a cultural reset. It was a cultural reset. This was a prime example of anything you can do, I can do better. That's what it was. To me, when I lip sync, I try not to worry about anyone in the room. You know, like, especially when you're lip syncing for your life. When you're in the moment, do whatever you want. But this was like, Evie said, oh, you're doing that, I'm doing this. Brooklyn said, oh, you're doing that, I'm doing this. It was iconic. For me, personally speaking, that is one of my all-time favorite lip syncs ever. I think, like, for me, seeing the fact that, because I'm not a stunt queen, but seeing the fact that it was stunt after stunt after stunt after stunt, and they still build. It wasn't just like they walked out and did a split. They still had emotions. They still had moves. Evie had the little, like, wig reveal thing. Like, there were moments that I was like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh my God. It was very that. Like, every single second, I was like, what is going? And you can tell the judges were like, I don't know where to look. And it's crazy to me that those were the two that ended up the final two of the season. That's the insane. Like, imagine if one of them went home. Right, imagine if one of them went home.
You know, I think there's lip syncs where someone's doing the stunts, but it seems like it's too much because you can tell there's, like, a desperation behiid it. Like, I have to do the absolute most. Here, it just felt so natural. Like, I just watched Brooklyn Heights on the pit stop, and she said she had done this song every single weekend. She knew exactly what she was going to do.
Oh, sickening.
She knew her moves. And at this point, these were the two powerhouses of the seasons, the two front runners. So to be in the bottom two together midway through the season, there's no way they were going to send one of them home. And after that lip sync, They shouldn't have. This was like one of the most, I think, non-controversial double Shantays.
Yep.
Because no one can say
there's
who
not
won.
one person on this earth that can say Brooklyn should have stayed over Evie or Evie should have stayed over Brooklyn. There's not one person.
Yeah.
There's no discussion. There's no debate. It's point, period, blank, like, girl. And also, like, my body hurts just looking at them, but I want to continue to look at them over and over and over and over again.
I hope they had a chiropractor on speed dial after that lip sync, because, like...
It wasn't Bruno, he's mine.
Bryce is, like, with the stretcher ready to go. It's one of those where your eyes are... You're not focused on anyone, because you're just going back and forth and back and forth.
Yes, which is the best lip sync. I want to go...
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
for sure.
What was your favorite lip sync on your season to watch, like, as, like, an audience spectator?
Oh, so I loved watching the Don't Let Go, the from the Lollapalooza with Camden and Bosco. So you know that video shot where it like focuses on Camden and then focuses on Bosco? That is the shot that we saw from the actual like workroom.
See, because I was wondering, like, what are you guys watching? Is it just like a double, like, long take or what?
No, we're actually watching the actual feed from the lip sync. And so I'm like, what cameraman is this? Like, it was so sickening. But in general, I think they both, like, I know they're not ballad girls, but I think that they should reconsider doing, like, they were both sickening. And, like, Camden does her Camden way, Bosco does her Bosco way, but it just, like, it worked. It was very duetty. Remember, like, we love that kind of, like, synchronicity kind of moment. And I thought they both killed. Like, to me, that was the most, like, I was just sitting here like this, like, so beautiful. So beautiful.
Lady Camden floats on air just like Jax, but in completely different ways. Jax, there's no center of gravity. Gravity does not exist when Jax starts lip syncing.
At all. At all.
Like, let's talk about one that it's kind of like a question mark in my head, both why it happened and, like, why it was necessary. Okay. Jackie Cox versus Heidi N Closet to kill the lights on season 12.
So,
please.
Okay. I commend Jackie for not trying to be something that she's not and knowing that she does character and camp really well. And no matter what the song was, she's gonna deliver that. So I respect her gusto, okay? To me, Heidi embodied the song. Heidi has that old school diva way, let alone she literally dressed for the song, knew every word, sickening, you know, did the twirl, did everything like that. I don't mind Jackie's rendition of it, but personally speaking, I didn't see the double Shantay. I thought that Heidi killed it and Jackie wanted to kill her. Because she was... You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh. It's giving The Conjuring.
Yeah. But I love an embodiment. I love, like, what is this song delivering? I am all for and respect someone that does something opposite. No one said you can't do that. But me as an entertainer, from my eyes, I love when someone embodies it. And I felt that Heidi embodied the song. If there was a winner, I would consider Heidi the winner.
Yeah, and, you know, I wish I had a better, like, explanation. Like, oh, like, it's an easy decision because da-da-da-da-da-da. Right. But from my perspective, Jackie wasn't a production favorite. She wasn't someone that, like, production was like, you know, we really want to see her do well. We really want to see her in that finale. She's just gotten a bottom 2 placement that I didn't necessarily agree with before this episode. So it's not like she's someone who they're like, oh, we need to have Jackie Cox around.
Got it.
From my perspective.
Right.
So then why would they save her here? I don't know. Maybe the humor translated better in the room than it did on our televisions. Or in the edit.
Honestly, truly, RuPaul's favorite thing to do is laugh. That is his favorite thing to do. I learned this from being on the show. And honestly, watching the show, get the laugh. That's how you win. That is just the formula of Ru. Ru does not take anything serious, and he doesn't want you to take anything serious. So I think that he loved and respected, and he was cackling the entire time at Jackie. So maybe his eyes were naturally going to Jackie because he was laughing, right? So maybe that was his thing. And then maybe he was just like, oh, well, no, they both turned it. That's my philosophy in that thing. Is Ru just loves to cackle. Loves to cackle.
Yeah, and I mean, this is kind of like the last one. We've already seen Heidi lip sync a couple times. We know what she can bring to a lip sync. We know that she's going to slay. Jackie had been in the bottom before, but it was to Firework. This is a lot different. She was bringing something completely different.
Which Firework was so beautiful.
That could have also been a double Shantae.
Yes.
Jackie and Widow.
That should have been the double Shantae. That should have been the double Shantae of the season. Widow should have stayed with Jackie. Yes.
Agreed.
Ru.
Agreed.
That was just beautiful. It brought people to tears.
Literally, Jeff Goldblum couldn't even handle himself.
Oh well. It's already wrapped and done.
Widow had already packed her bags, so... But yeah, that one's kind of the weirdest one on this list where I was like, So now we're going to transition into some UK lip syncs.
UK love. UK hun. I will assimilate perfectly. You want me to go to Scotland? Lawrence Cheney. I'm good.
We're just going to drop you somewhere and we're like, have at it.
There she is.
We're going to start with Black Peppa versus Jomber's Blonde. This is one of those songs I'd never heard of in my life. And then I was like, where has this song been?
So sickening. First of all, I'm a Black Pepper stan for life. We're supposed to do a photo shoot next time, and I'm in the UK, and she's going to style it for me. Sickening. This lip sync, I felt like at first it was pretty even. I actually thought that Jonbers held her own. And then obviously Black Peppa went up, right? And Jonbers didn't know what to do. This to me was a very confusing double Shantae. And then I also felt from Black Peppa like a little bit of desperation, but I get it. Again, you never know how you're going to feel in like a lip sync. But I just feel like there was a disconnect from both of them. And I just don't think I would have put a double Shantae on this one. I think I definitely would have had Black Peppa stay over Jonbers. But yeah, it wasn't my favorite. It wasn't my favorite.
Genuinely, and like, sorry if I'm wrong about this, but I think this was a double Shantae so that Pixie Polite wasn't in the top.
Dang.
Because, okay.
I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
I don't know. Like, they loved Jonbers. Jonbers had a really good story.
They loved Jonbers, right?
They loved, and at that point, Pixie's story has been, you're not as good as Danny. That is what her storyline was in that season. Okay. Unfortunately right. so. So for her to be in the finale isn't as compelling as Jonbers, who started off at rock bottom, like you lip synced week 2 or week 3, and like blah blah blah. Now look how far you've come. Yes, that is why I think it was a double Shantae. To be honest with you, which is like a sad, but
truth. But
yeah.
But if you were to pick one of them.
I don't know. Because, okay, Black Peppa has been in the bottom a couple times and reused some of the moves you've already seen so they don't have as big of an impact. And Jonbers loved the little, whatever that was. I guess I give it to Peppa.
I just felt like there was just desperation sometimes where it didn't need to be. Mm-hmm. And you kind of both, again, you've seen all of Black Peppa's moves. Also, her stuff was falling apart, so I was just like,
Having a face Kini also probably sucks a lot doing a lip sync, because you're like, well, fuck.
Yeah. Was she painted underneath? Could you tell?
I don't know, because she never took it off. So I feel like if you were painted, you would have ripped that right off for a lip sync.
Oh, right off, and been like, I know these words. Oh, for sure. Yeah. Absolutely. But again, Black Peppa stan. And Jonbers I met in the UK, and she was so sweet.
Next, let's talk about one of the queens that makes me the most angry because they got so mistreated on their season. Charity Case.
I was like, you hate a queen?
I hate with every fiber of my being this queen. No, I'm kidding. I hate how she was treated because she is so fucking sickening. Charity Case. I made a whole video about it. versus Scarlett Harlot, which I think kind of has a similarity. I think they loved Scarlett. Scarlett had a really great story.
In my opinion, because I just recently rewatched this lip sync, I would consider this a double Shantae. Personally speaking, I would consider this a double Shantae. Now, Charity obviously went for the camp. I mean, you're dressed up as a fucking cheetah. What else can you really give besides that, right? But her moves were so fun. Keep in mind, this is my favorite Spice Girl song, by the way. My favorite Spice Girl song. And honestly, for like, this is gonna come out so wrong. For Scarlett being a Caucasian twink, she was doing it, girl. Like, it was cute. Like, the chorus in general, I think the first chorus, my eyes were going both. Like, oh my God, it was fun. It was just a fun time. To me, I love when a lip sync, you forget about who's staying and going, and you just enjoy the lip sync. And that personally is what I had with this particular lip sync. I was just enjoying it. Those two Caucasian ladies were having a fun time. That's what I got from it. Like, personally speaking, I think that this was hands down a double Shantae.
Maybe I need a rewatch, because I disagree. I disagreed at the time, and I rewatched.
Wow.
And let's be real, whose opinion really matters when it comes to lip syncing on Drag Race?
Yours. Michelle Visage.
Carson Kressley with his little moves he always does behind the panel. Mm-hmm.
Or for the sweetest pie.
Exactly. I thought that Scarlett did a good job. I think Charity did a better job. But this, I think, just showed how song choice really matters when it comes to lip sync. Because the next one they did, the very next episode, I think Scarlett Harlot bodied Charity Case.
Yes.
But I think it was the opposite in this one. So it's just it was an interesting dynamic to get to see two people lip sync against each other in back-to-back episodes.
I'm glad that you said song choice is very important, because in the Lollapalooza or in life, song choice is how you are going to win or captivate an audience. That's what it is. Like, to me, in the Lollapalooza, I wouldn't want to choose my opponent because I can lip sync against anyone. I would want to pick the song. Because if you're not feeling the song, you're really, girl, Good For You by what's her fucking name? I hated the song. It's not even that I have PTSD. I hated the song. There was nothing about it that read DeJa. So I tried my best, but at the end of the day, like, look at Fallen compared to Good For You. Like, Fallen, I embodied that, you know? And so I'm just glad that you said song choice is everything, because it really is. And knowing your lyrics. Knowing your lyrics is everything.
I genuinely, I think Charity Case's drag did not resonate with RuPaul and Michelle like it did with the viewers.
Which is so weird, because literally the next season, you had like Cheddar Gore, or like Danny Beard, which was like, it's so weird that like it didn't resonate on that season, but literally if she was on season 4, she would have won.
Well, I think the difference is Charity's drag specifically has an unpolish to it, whereas Cheddar and Danny's is a polished version of Charity. So our last lip sync is
the last
Ellie Diamond versus Tace. I don't remember the song.
So normally you would save the best for last, but not in this case.
Oh. Ooh.
I love them both. I was cracking a joke.
DeJa hates Tace and Ellie Diamond confirmed, tweeting that as we speak. I'm just kidding.
No. I actually honestly really do love them both. I remember my first time in the UK, Ellie came to my show. And then Tace, me and her have communicated, and then obviously online we saw each other at DragCon in the States and then DragCon UK, and she's just... Here's the thing about Tace. Tace is so stunning that I'd be fine if she walked up to me and slapped me across the face and said, fuck you. Because she's so stunning, right? Like, I wouldn't care.
Yeah.
But the fact is, she's so fucking nice. It's like, how are you beautiful and nice? Like, it doesn't happen that way.
Tace is an ethereal being. She does not belong to this earth. And
at all.
You're right. Tace could come up, call me an ugly bitch, throw a pie in my face.
Yes.
And I'd be like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Like,
thank
oh my gosh, it means so much to me.
Yes. That's what I feel. I'm like, it makes me happy when someone that's stunning is also stunning on the inside, but it's also like a shock. You're like, oh, you're nice. Or like, whenever someone's like, oh my God, I'm a big fan of yours, I'm like, you're a fan of mine? That never happens, by the way. I just get that up in my head. But No, just kidding. Okay, sorry. Back to the, oh, I just dropped something. Back to the lip sync. This was a fun lip sync, and I personally think that this was a double Shantae. I do. I know that's controversial because people did not like Ellie Diamond.
What do you think Aja thinks of her duck walk?
Okay. Girl, we have had centuries of white drag queens nogging on Drag Race. Okay, this was no exception. And in the UK, they don't have proper classes. Anyways, I thought it was fun. One, I like the song. I think it's very clubby and cute, like 90s vibes. But I thought they really delivered. Now, if you're gonna remember how we were talking about tricks and stuff, everything that Taste did, we've seen from her already, right? And we hadn't seen Ellie Diamond lip sync, but they both delivered. Like, in my opinion, I understand why it was a double Shantae. And I don't think I could pick one or the other because Ellie gave face, so did Taste. That rhymes. I'm a rapper. Ellie gave face, so was Taste. Ellie gave face. Anyways, yeah, double Shantae.
I think you're going to be opening up for Beyonce on her tour now with that song, right?
Mama, call me Big DeJa instead of Big Frida. Big DeJa.
Yeah, I think on one hand, we know that they probably planned for a top 4 since they had the song ready for 4 verses to be on it. So they probably were going to do a double Shantae regardless. But I think Ellie did enough that they were like, yeah. Cool. Let's do it.
Right. Was there a lip sync in that season that could have been a double Shantae?
Ahura and Taste, the episode prior.
I'm gonna flip this fucking table because you are absolutely correct. Delete all the footage that I just said. Fuck that.
She said Ellie Diamond,
no.
You get the axe.
Get out. No, that's so true. Oh my God.
It was so good. And it was a heartfelt, emotional ballad. They put everything into it. They were the 2 best friends. They were the 2 that fucked each other.
And then we came... I fucking hate you. You are so dumb. I love it.
So I think that is all of the double Shantays we have to talk about. DeJa, thank you so much for coming to the channel. Genuinely, you're one of the sweetest, nicest queens of all time. So having you here is such a privilege. Aww. Please come back soon.
Yeah, absolutely. You also forgot most beautiful, but we're going to put that, just chop that in, put sweetest, nicest, most beautiful. I got you. I got you. No, thank you so much for having me. We'll definitely have to do something very soon. Wink, wink.
Where can everyone follow you, DeJa?
Oh, you can find me on all my social media like Instagram, Twitter at DeJa Skye. Follow me on TikTok at the DeJa Skye. And if you want to find merch, you can find me at thedejasky.com.
Ooh, come on, merch plug. And if you're not following DeJa, that's the true robbery and riggery of the season. So get on that.
Amen.
Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you all in the next one.